Hello everyone, welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. We are continuing with yet another look at DC Superheroes United, taking a look at a few of the stretch goals that were announced over the last couple days, as well as the new pack that was announced. Not technically an expansion, but a new pack that was announced. So we're going to go ahead and dive into those updates here. If you've been enjoying this series, make sure to hit the notification bell so that way you're alerted when the next video in this series comes out. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Yes, I know we have been covering this game a lot. I've got a few other things that we are looking into doing probably after, some things during, but after this campaign series, or not campaign series, this lookabout series that we're doing on DC Superheroes is over. So just be aware of that. But we are having fun taking a look at all these updates and seeing what all of the goodies are. I've actually gotten back into quite a few of my back issues of comics that I have not read in forever, especially the ones that I bought in never read. So I've been enjoying this campaign a lot for that reason. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what updates were revealed this past week so far. All right, so as always, we do start here on the main page for the game. Right now, at a goal of 200,000, the game has made $1,052,849. So, pretty high past their goal. It says right there 526% above that. 14 days and a few hours left to go. With 7,248 backers. So, we're not going to be doing as many updates today because there's only 5 as of the time I'm recording this. Usually I'm recording these very, very late, but I am taking advantage of one, the unfortunate pause between stretch goals in the middle of the campaign, and also the fact that no one is in my house right now besides me. My family's all doing stuff. So I was like, you know what, let's try to get this, at least the recording of it, done pretty early. Hopefully I'm getting it to you guys earlier in the evening instead of in the middle of the night like I unfortunately always do, or in the afternoon or in the morning of the next day. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at update number 40, because I think 39 is where we left off, and we got this brand new playmat. Let's see, it's Holy Playmat. Let's take it to the mat. Cool. So before they get into the mat itself for the update, they do have on here that they are going to be doing another live stream this Friday, July 19th at noon Eastern time. So 12 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and then wherever else you're watching this channel, all of those other places. So I will actually be home for this one. So I will hopefully be in the chat while they're doing that. Just asking questions if I feel like there's any questions to be asked, and kind of go from there. That's my plan for Friday. I don't know what your plans are for Friday. Let me know, at least as far as this goes. I don't need to know any other plans. Trust me. I don't at all. I meant more for this. So, anyway, so they're going to be talking about all the new stuff that came out. And speaking of additions, we get the playmat. The playmat is a big major thing that is in every United game. Every season 1 has their mat. Season 2 had the first double-sided mat, and season 3 of Marvel United is what we're talking about, had the smaller mat. In fact, see if I can show this without it. This is my mat right here. I still have it in its original tube, essentially. Went to a friend's house over the weekend and attempted to play. Not saying we did, not saying we didn't. We didn't. But I brought the tube of a game mat nonetheless. But this is a double-sided play mat. It is 90 centimeters long. I remember during Marvel United 1, there was a big thing as to whether or not to do it either, what was it, either at 90 centimeters, 100 centimeters, or 90 centimeters and like 3 feet exactly. And I think the 90 centimeters won out, obviously. So there is that, but that is going to be the mat. It is double-sided. I don't have any experience as far with double-sided mats. All of my mats, like the mat that goes on the table here, is just one-sided. I probably have double-sided mats that I haven't used. I know there's a mat behind me that I can't remember which game it's for, but it is double-sided. I haven't been able to use it yet, so I'm not sure how all of that slides about. But we have, for $39, this crowdfunding exclusive add-on brings a neoprene double-sided playmat to give you the best surface to play your games on. Printed with the Justice League inspired designs, the playmat helps organize your play area. The mission guide is printed directly at the center of the playmat. This indicates slots for the villains, dashboard, mission dashboard. Basically, what this is going to go into talking about is that there's a spot for nearly everything in the game, and even to the point where you don't necessarily even need to use some of the cardboard that comes with your game. We'll spin it down here to the main play mat. This is going to be if you are with a bunch of friends sitting around the table, and I mean like around the table, not just on one side like you see us do here with Marvel United on the channel. You would be most likely playing with this one. As you can see right here, is my mouse out and about? Nope, it's not. Let me get it on there. But you can see right here, you got the spot right here for the villain dashboard. You got the 3 missions right here and what they do on this side. And then you got a spot for your locations all through here. You do have a spot for the threat card hanging off of the location. And then they do give you a spot that where they're designating the most generic that come with the core box. They've got spots here to say this is where you would put those generic tokens and stuff like that, like the thugs and those kind of things. They also do have this spot right here, which is supposed to be for the villain master plan deck. And then all these spots along the outside, if you see any of the artwork, or not artwork, any of the promotional pictures on the main page. And this is, I'm more talking to people who don't know what this is about, never seen this map before, you didn't follow Marvel United 1, 2, or 3. This is where you're going to be placing your cards for when they talk about the storyline. You're right here is the start spot. It's always where the first villain turn goes. And then it even says villain, hero, 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 villain, hero, 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 villain, and then it fades out along there because possibly by that point the villain is under pressure and going after every second hero turn and not every third hero turn. And this also doesn't account for any differences, not differences. This doesn't account for other play modes and stuff like that. This is just basically vanilla as far as what this is representing. It's a very good map. We don't use it as much on the channel because I have the first season Marvel one. I never got the second season Marvel one, the X-Men one that was like double-sided, because at the time that I got it, I wasn't doing this channel. And I'll show you why on the other side here in a second. But we weren't doing this channel at the time, and so the concept of what was on the second the other side of the playmat didn't interest me. Now it does. Also, the other reason why we don't play with the playmat on here is because the table we had was only 30 inches wide on the one side, whereas making the mat have to hang off. We've actually got something on our table now to where I can actually now fit the Marvel United mat on there. So we might start using it. It depends on a couple of factors. But yeah, we might still start using that, because right now, if you watch any of our Marvel United gameplays, you see that we have the villain stuff and the locations and everything on one side of the table, like the left side of the table, and we have all of the hero cards on the right side of the table. It's more so you guys can see it better during the game, as well as having to deal with the size issue here at the table. So there is that. The Marvel United 3, the multiverse mat, doesn't have the outer ring for the cards. So just if you are looking for a mat to play like those other Marvel games, you never got it, and you can find it somewhere. It doesn't have the other ring. It does have these spots, like what's represented here is the red spots, but it doesn't have the spot for the cards. I know that was a big thing for people online. I would be putting mine on a secondary mat, so there's that. Anyway, right here, the other side of the playmat is specifically supposed to be for if you're playing the game solo, if you're using the commander solo mode, or if you are like us here on the channel and you are having everybody on one side of the table playing. This would be the mat for you because of the fact that they have the what do you call it? I'm losing track because I'm thinking of something else. They have the 6 locations and everything pointed at the player. So I went ahead and double checked, and I'm going to show you guys here on the Kickstarter page. I know I keep on bringing up the other Marvel games. I just happened to be in the multiverse map or multiverse Kickstarter looking at stuff a minute ago, and I happened upon the multiverses playmat update. And this is what the playmat looked like for Marvel United Multiverse. Now, again, I'm only like, as I said before, you can see where you're placing the cards on the outside. That wasn't the big problem or the big not even the big problem. That's not the one thing I want to show on here, but I did want to show a change in how they do the playmat. I'm not remember if this was on the X-Men one. I'm not going through all the updates to find that update, but in the multiverse map, at least, they've got the villain deck right here. They've got the villain dashboard way up here at the top of the circle, because circles have tops. Gosh. But they put all the locations, since that's going to be the main thing you're going to be using or focusing on. You're going to want, though, like, you're not necessarily referring, I mean, you kind of are, but you're not necessarily referring or touching or using or moving around anything on the dashboard as much. There are some villains where you got to place tokens and do stuff on the dashboard, but there's really not much you're doing up here other than filling in the missions. But the locations were all right here, so that way all the miniatures that you're going to be messing around with during the entirety of the game were easier to get to. Over here with the new playmat, yes, thankfully they added in that outer ring, but they somehow managed to get it, or not get it. They didn't, yeah, well, they did manage to do it. Maybe it's because they watched our videos. But they somehow did manage to put the locations on the board, so that, because over here they're all facing inward, so that way at some point everybody can read whatever's on there, and everything's, whatnot, everything's facing it out to everybody on the board, with that circle pattern, whereas down here everything is facing toward the one player or the multiple players on here, but they are doing it around the dashboard instead of forcing the um instead of forcing how everything is on the bottom. They still technically have that whole circular pattern, probably to negate people getting confused as to where to move. That may have been a problem. I don't know, because I haven't used this mat yet, and I don't have the X-Men one, which I think is the same way. But yeah, that is a definitive change from the Marvel mats as far as the solo variant side of the map. So that is that. So that is going to be update number, I think I said 40. We're going to go to update number 41, Sympathy for the Demon. So let's see. The campaign has come much cooler now that Captain Cold has joined us. When the next stretch goal is unlocked, we'll add to every pledge the crowdfunding exclusive Etrigan, the Demon, including his hero figure and 12 hero cards. I just want to point out that the playmat is not a stretch goal. The playmat was a $39 add-on. So there was that. I don't know if I didn't say that or misspoke or anything like that. I just wanted to point that out, since we're talking about stretch goals now. But we get Etrigan the Demon right here, bound to his human form, known as Jason Blood, all that stuff. I was going to start reading that, but no. Let's see. Etrigan the Demon, I am healing. Soon you'll be kneeling. Oh, that's right. He's got that whole rhyming motif. I forgot about that. If you have less than 3 cards in hand at the end of the villain turn, you may draw 1 card. So he gets a persistent healing effect. That is cool. Summoned by Jason Blood, Etrigan the Demon is constantly healing himself, so he won't easily go back to where he came. His dark magic is capable of relocating anything around him, from thugs and civilians to heroes, villains, and even threats. His powerful Hellfire attacks not only deal a devastating blow to his enemies, but they can set them ablaze, so they'll continue taking damage for a while. That's cool. A persistent token that goes on the villain, so that way they continue to get damage. I would have loved for the write-up on here to have been in like a poem, like in rhyming of some sort. I think they missed the ball on that one. Anyway, so that is Etrigan the Demon right there. So that is cool that he is unlocked. So that's one of the first, no, that's the second magical base character after the third, after Shazam and Dr. Fate. So that is pretty cool. So we're gonna go on to the next the next update. So this one was on the 16th. So this was yesterday morning, or yesterday afternoon when this was unlocked. So let's go, or when this was announced. So let's go to the one that hit the internet by storm. That is the Monarch of Mayo. The Condiment King was the next player. Like, I am so glad he wasn't on my list of predictions and everything like that. And Kite Man was on mine, and that's mainly because of the fact that he was on, like, what do you call it? He was in Deceased. But I just love the fact that Condiment King is in this game. I kind of hope, like Killer Moth and all that stuff, I kind of hope they do try to throw in some people, like some of these old villains from like the 40s and 50s and like early 60s 70s, back when like DC Comics was just like crazy, like the super camp stuff. I think would be really awesome for them to throw in there. And I'm not saying that because I don't want like some other series characters in here. There's some people in the comments who think, man, now that we're getting characters like Condiment King, we're not going to get like some other big name heroes or villains or anything like that. Listen, people are going to be missing from this game, even if they do a season 2 and a season 3. I'm still waiting for a. I don't think it's going to happen because of I don't know what they never announced anything with licensing with the Marvel stuff. At least I don't think they did. But I'm still missing X Force members, and I'm hoping that we get some sort of Marvel United season 4 just so I can finish X Force and Generation X. I don't even care about the Avengers, or the only technical team I think we have completed is the Fantastic Four, and that's not even the reserve versions of some of those characters. But like I said, I'm still waiting for some X Force members. I'm still waiting for some Generation X members. I'm still waiting for some later X-Men, even the ones that were in the 90s, like the late 90s. We're missing some of those characters still. So it's like there's gonna be characters missing. I have Dupe in a box. Okay, like we can have Condiment King. I think that's fine. I'd rather have Condiment King than Dupe. That's all I'm gonna say. There's probably some Ecstatic / X Force fans out there that hate me for that one. You might unsubscribe. I don't know. Please don't. But like I said, I would rather have Condiment King here than a floating green booger pickle. That's all I'm gonna say. So Condiment King. Let's see. We already read that part. He is going to get villain figure, villain dashboard, 12 master playing cards, 6 star cards, and he gets 4 stain tokens. I love these tokens the way they look because it just looks like someone splashed you with ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise, and that is always terrible. Special rules: heroes starting their turn with a stain token can't rescue civilians during that turn, then discard the stain token at the end of that turn. So yeah, if they start their turn, they have a stain token, can't do whatever, it's going to be terrible. Heroes with a stain token starting their turn in this location must play their hero card randomly. Instead, and under pressure, instead they must play their card face down. So that is going to suck there. Catch up me if you can't. Next hero turn, if one or more heroes enter Condiment King's location, move him to the opposite location. So he doesn't have much health, but it sounds like he's going to be a pain to fight. So okay, so this is the write-up. Okay, so in all honesty, Condiment King doesn't pose a real threat if any self-respecting hero. However, a self-respecting hero would be embarrassed or at least considerably annoyed to be seen with their cool costume all stained with ketchup and mustard. That's the chink in the armor that the dastardly Condiment King will exploit. He walks around firing his condiment gun at heroes anywhere near him, attaching stain tokens to them. It takes a hero until the end of their turn to properly wash their outfit until when they're not in a presentable state to be able to rescue respectable civilians. Until then, it's not me. It's the writing. It's not me. Until then, they're not in a presentable state to be able to rescue respectable civilians. If overflows happen, cards are removed from the master plan deck, even more so if there's a humiliated stained hero in the overflowing location. Whew. Condiment King's threats arm him with even more potential condiments, from hot sauce to very hot sauce, all the way to extremely hot sauce, each of them requiring an increasing amount of violence to wash off. Stained heroes on these threats are so discombobulated. I've never actually seen that word. I've said it a lot, never seen it. That they must play their card randomly, and when Condiment King dials up the hotness once under pressure, they'll simply play their card face down as they rush for some milk. That is going to be awesome. Like, they say he's not that big of a threat, and they're more so using like the quote unquote embarrassment aspect of having your costume all stained and everything to basically ramp up just that this guy is going to be a pretty decent threat in the game. I can't wait to play against him in 2026. Oh, it's so far away. But yeah, that's going to be that. So that was announced yesterday at 10:07 p.m. And next we are getting update 43, Green Lantern Corps. So if you do notice, and at first I didn't pay attention to it until I got farther in, that the new background square thing they have right here, that's like the bar in the middle of all the expansions. And then we got these other two sidebars right here. So this is going to be a different sized box. And in fact, it's not even an expansion box per se. So Heroes unite in brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light. Right there. Yes, I did put my one ring on. I've got the other ones in here that I will wear if we see any more lanterns, and I'm hoping that we do. So, Green Lantern core character pack, not expansion. 5 figures, 60 hero cards, and 6 equipment cards, plus a team deck right here. So for $30, this crowdfunding exclusive character pack brings the awesome power of the Green Lantern Corps to DC Superheroes United. This cosmic team relies on as much on each other as they do the power of their will, channeled through their green power ring to perform impossible feats. Each of these heroes features a unique clear green part in their figure to represent the Green Lantern powers united. Green Lanterns are ready to defend all corners of the galaxy from evil. There is your list of things that are going to be in the expansion, chief of which is going to be the Green Power Ring. And remember, the Green Lantern Corps has been chosen by their Green Power Ring for their strength of character. This artifact, I think artifact has an I. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just that dumb. Who knows? Channels their willpower to create an almost limitless range of effects. Each hero in this set has their own power ring equipment card, which works in conjunction with their deck. Many of their hero cards display one of the action symbols at the bottom of a green symbol. While these work as normal action symbols, they also have a special interaction with green power rings. When using their power ring, the hero is able to perform 2 additional times the action corresponding to the green symbol on their played card in the previous hero or the previous hero card in the storyline. Even more than usual, cooperation is key for the Green Lantern Corps to take full advantage of their powering. So that's a pretty interesting change over in Deceased when we got the Green Lantern heroes in that one. All the Green Lanterns still technically did different things, I believe. In this one, even though, yes, Kilowog and John Stewart and Guy Gardner, all of them will have different special effects probably on their main cards and everything in their main deck. Their rings are all going to be the same. Very similar to how all the web shooters that we're getting, that we've already gotten in Spider-Geddon, and the ones we're going to be getting to fill out Peter, Miles Morales, and Spider-Gwen over in season 1 for the End of the Spider-Verse box. All the different web shooter cards are going to, or I'm sorry, all the different Green Lantern power ring cards are going to be the same as like the web shooters, where the web shooter just does the same thing every time. So that's pretty cool. And you can even see right here the symbols they're talking about. So it's not just an icon next to the symbol. They actually went ahead and made the symbol a different color. So that's pretty cool that they did that. While recharging a power ring is costly, it takes 2 action tokens. Every hero in this set has a couple hero cards that allow them to recite the Green Lantern Oath, immediately recharging their power ring or healing them. You know how it goes in Brightest Day. I think we saw somewhere. I thought I saw it earlier. Maybe I'm thinking of like later on. Yeah, right here, I think is the oath card for John Stewart. But there's John Stewart right there, looking all John Stewarty for the most part. I don't remember. I think his costume is very much similar in the comics, or at least in the 2000s comics, but that definitely does look like how he does in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons. So there is that. And ex-Marine John Stewart is extremely resourceful and capable Green Lantern. He exudes leadership, making it possible for other heroes to perform any action needed at the moment. His mastery of the Green Lantern ring is also unparalleled, creating wild constructs out of sheer will so that the actions he uses can accomplish anything he wants. So that's pretty cool right there. There is John Stewart. Next, we have Kilowog right there. Let's see. Kilowog. Yep, here's the oath card right there, too. We're just gonna go through this one. Kilowog is an impressive Green Lantern, but don't be mistaken by his brawn, or as his brain is just as powerful. His acute scientific mind has the mechanical aptitude to put at his disposal any action token he might need. One of the best trainers in the Corps. Kilowog is even able to train civilians to his cause. He starts training them by playing his core trainer cards. Then, when he feels they're ready, he can flip his card, have groups of them across all locations perform free actions. That is just overpowered. It's pretty cool right there. There is Kilowog right there. Jessica Cruz. There she is. There's our Jessica Cruz, and there's her figures right there. She got a force field. Let's see, and then she also has her oath card. So there is that. And again, I breezing through it, but all the power rings pretty much have the same writing on them. Jessica Cruz is a Green Lantern that has gone through a lot by overcoming her fears. She is able to swiftly defeat all thugs in her location. She uses her power ring to create all sorts of useful constructs, including power force fields with which she can defend herself or any other hero in her location from harm. I can't remember. Did she didn't have power rings ring at one point, did she? During the New 52? Because I know she joined. I think she joined the Justice League as a lantern during that, and for some reason I didn't think she had like a regular Green Lantern ring. I thought she had a the power ring, but maybe I'm misremembering because I know in Green Lanterns with her and I think Simon Baz, she had like a regular ring on at that time. But anyway, that looks pretty cool. I do like how they're doing the lighting effects right here with the ring over her face and everything. That's pretty cool. Then we got Guy Gardner right there. There he is swinging his baseball bat. No peanut butter and jelly for that one. And there is his power ring. Guy Gardner is a powerful and heroic Green Lantern, though his aggressive tendencies sometimes get the better of him. Still, channeling his inner rage can come in handy when violence is the best solution. The free attacks it grants him are multiplied if he is wounded, increasing his rage. Hopefully, they have a lantern that has some rage. Salic. No idea. There is Salic right there. Seasoned Green Lantern boy. He does get an extra card. He is going to get the Book of Oa. Use on your turn another hero with a face-up green power ring equipment in your location may move, then wild. Then turn this face down. So if you haven't used your Green Lantern ring during your turn, it can be charged and everything like that. But if you haven't used your power ring during your turn, it looks like you can he can give you an extra benefit. So that's pretty cool. Salic is one of the most experienced Green Lanterns out there, though he does tend to be quite pedantic and bureaucratic. One could say he operates by the book, so it makes sense that he's the keeper of the Book of Oa. Besides his green power ring, he also has the Book of Oa as an equipment to help the Corps. By using it, he allows another hero in his location to move and perform any action they need as long as their green power ring is charged. Thankfully, his keeper of the book card makes it easy for him to recharge the Book of Oa or gain a heroic action token. So he gets to get his Book of Oa back. That is pretty cool. Although, what does that mean? Book of Oa. So basically, they're almost making it to where you almost have to use the equipment cards for a lot of stuff in this one. I feel like equipment is technically optional, but I mean, in Marvel United, it kind of is because they're not, you know, 2/3 of the characters are not designed to necessarily work with equipment. They're adding equipment to a lot of the older characters. Some of the newer characters do utilize equipment still, but I don't think it's a primary focus of their stuff. An exception, I think, is Penny Parker from the Spider-Geddon box, because that's the only one we have right now. But like the web shooters are not necessary, that kind of stuff. But this one definitely feels like I'm gonna be I'm not harming myself. I'm not gonna be giving myself any benefit whatsoever if I'm not taking the equipment card. With that said, a lot of stuff is giving those wild actions that you'd be missing, with giving up those cards for your ring. So that's pretty cool right there. So anyway, so the other thing we're going to get here is the team decks. So again, we're getting another pack of some sort that is giving us team decks in a pack. And again, this is a Kickstarter exclusive pack. So you'd still have to get the Kickstarter in order to get this. As we've seen, we're still not getting team decks with retail boxes or boxes that will go to retail. It says when playing with this team deck, all heroes you being used must be part of the Green Lantern core team, and the all heroes being used. Yeah, so you have to have all of them, and the hard challenge difficulty should be used. The team deck is shuffled and played. Okay, we got all that stuff. These are essentially hero cards. We know all that. I want to see the new stuff. Where's the new stuff? All this stuff right here that I was getting ready to read is basically the write up. We have it on the other one, but this one, the Green Lantern core team deck, brings a couple more green action symbols for the heroes to use with their green power rings. Each card reinforces the Green Lantern's Oath and Brightest Day, rewards heroes for clearing threats in Blackest Night, makes Power Ring and reciting the Oath makes Power Rings and reciting the Oath useless. Blackest Night is the bad one. Okay. No evil shall escape my sight reveals the next master plan card. Let those who worship evil's might. Takes out thugs. Beware my power gives extra fighting power, and Green Lantern's light recharges green power rings. So that is what we've got right there. There is our box with our new character pack in there. Now, I am not necessarily against the character pack. I know some people were complaining about the price between like this and like Metropolis. I think Metropolis is like $35. This one's $30. Metropolis, again, you're getting guaranteed that $35 price point is the retail price point. It's not counting the two extra figures that we're getting in there, which is Superboy and Lois Lane. So that box, if you take those out, is just giving you, or not just giving you, but is giving you Supergirl, Steel, and Crypto as playable characters. So you get 3 playable characters. You are getting 2 villains in that out of, I was going to say Deathstroke, but that's not right, out of Doomsday and Brainiac. And then you're getting that extra piece of Jimmy Olsen with his support figure. So you're getting, between this and that, you are getting more out of like Metropolis. So like it's like 3 heroes for 3 heroes. So taking that out of there, 3 heroes do not, in my mind, necessarily equate to 1 or 2 villains, especially even 1 villain. Just because I've told people many times that the villains are what makes this game unique, not necessarily the heroes. The heroes all have some great flavor on them, but they all still essentially have a 12-player deck with 3, 4, or maybe even more special cards in there, and then their unique figure. Villains, you get, again, the unique figure, you get the dashboard with a whole bunch of rules on it for how to fight that one. They have their own 12-player or 12 count deck as well to do whatever. They've got all their threats that go around the board. There's a lot more that goes into the villains sometimes than the heroes, at least in my opinion. The heroes are great, don't get me wrong. But I honestly would take 2 villains. I honestly would have taken like was Salic. I would have taken him out of this and thrown in Sinestro and made it an actual like mini expansion of some sort. That's kind of how I would have been. I would have almost rather in a character pack gotten a villain out of this. Now taking that Jimmy figure, again comparing Metropolis and this, taking that Jimmy figure, then comparing it to like a team deck, you're going to get a little bit more diversity with a team deck, I think. Maybe, I don't know, because we haven't seen the full, even though we've read about them, we haven't seen the full rules on the support characters yet. And right now we only have 2 support characters from 1 expansion, and those aren't even in like stretch goals or anything like that. So I kind of feel like we need either Gordon and or Alfred in a Gotham box to get a little bit more value out of the support characters, because I feel like the team decks are more the way to go with that, or give you the more value almost. Even though the support characters sound like they're awesome, and they might be awesome, I kind of want to see how they are. I want to see how the team decks are. There's so many things I want to see. There's so many things we can't necessarily comment on. I can sit here and comment on what is good, what is not good, value, and all that stuff for me. But at the end of the day, we haven't played with any of it, and we're not going to play with any of it for a while. Like, we don't have team decks. Even with Spider-Geddon, we don't even have team decks in there. If you're like in Asia and stuff like that, you have Marvel United Multiverse, you have team decks now. You also have campaign decks. I'm hoping that comes out as well. But you don't have team deck. Everywhere else doesn't have team decks yet. And we're definitely not getting in support characters until 2026, because we know this game's not going to come out until then. Maybe late 2025 if they can get production going, but it's going to be a year and a half for production on this, and we're in July right now. This campaign is going to end right before August. we're not seeing this game until March, April 2026, I would assume. Um, so there's that. But I that was a long rant for I don't know what. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is $30. I that's up to you whether or not you want to spend your money on this game, with it being that expensive or cheap, depending on your viewpoint. As far as the concept of character packs go, I don't necessarily mind it in a game like this. Kind of going, there's some games where, um, you can have like multiple villains, you can throw in multiple heroes. I mean, I've got Power Rangers sitting behind me. It's one of the games you guys see most of the time in my collection behind me. It's unfortunately one of the games I get least played in the house for one reason or another. But one of the things I thought about very early on, just because of the whole concept of like Monster of the Week kind of thing like that, would have been like packs that maybe came out like once a month or something like that, kind of going with like a Marvel Crisis Protocol / Star Wars Legion kind of a model, where we get like a monster or two shipped a month, maybe even like a 2-pack since they usually have to be fought at the same time. Getting like some kind of like a 2-pack shipped out for something like that. Something like a character pack could work with a game like DC Universe, like little character packs that they can put out. Like Green Lantern Corps, do that. Like Flash Family, do that. Have a couple packs that are like the villains. I mean, there's no stuff doesn't necessarily, yes, because of like wanting all your stuff to look the same and the fact that this is the first box. It's a not a uh, cardboard location or a cardboard villain dashboard style box. Is like the first box that doesn't have, looking at it, the same dimensions as everything else. That's going to throw some people off. But like I said, if they could do stuff like that and then actually have it retail more so that way, it'd be something that could be ordered, not necessarily have to get like a big expansion and not necessarily have to go through a Kickstarter to get it. I think that would be pretty cool for both Marvel and DC, to have those kind of things. This is the end of the rant on that. Green Lantern Corps, me, looks awesome, looks cool. I would definitely be getting this because I just love the lanterns on there. We are missing 3 big lanterns that all 3 of them mainly headline the main Green Lantern book for decades. We're still missing Alan Scott as part of the JSA too. We're missing Hal Jordan, and then we're missing Kyle Rayner. I'm holding up fingers and it's behind here. I don't have any doubt that Hal won't be in the game. I know there's some people that think that we should have, that they might do either a Lantern core box with Hal and the other lanterns, like with him and Sinestro. I can never remember how to say was Artrocious or whatever his name is, the big Rage Lantern guy. Him, Larfleeze, the Indigo Tribe, Star Sapphire, all those guys, Saint Walker, having them in like one box together. That would be kind of cool to do that. Kyle, I'm not sure if they would do another Green Lantern with him, maybe as a stretch goal, or if they would have him be like the White Lantern. I saw somebody say something about them possibly doing a Blackest Day or Blackest Night box. Again, that would be pretty cool to do. And you can do a lot with that, with like the minions being the dead, or the henchmen being like the dead, the undead versions of like the superheroes, like Superman, Batman, all those guys, without having to create figures for them. I think that would be pretty cool way to go. But for right now, we have Green Lantern Corps character pack. Let's go ahead and get to the last stretch goal, or what I assume is the last stretch goal for the day. That is going to be Soulful Blade. So, with the help of the aforementioned Green Lantern Corps box, we do have Katana. She's going to have her hero card and 12 heroes, or 12 heroes and her 12 hero cards. And I'm surprised she doesn't have an equipment card for her actual Katana, because isn't like the soul of her like dead husband or something like that inside there or something? I don't know. I didn't read much stuff with Katana in it, but that is her model right there. Her character card: Soul Taker Sword. Defeat up to 2 thugs in your location. There you go. Katana's traumatic life experiences have sharpened her skills as well as her blade, which is said to capture the souls of its victims. Wielding Soul Taker, she easily mows down multiple thugs surrounding her, or if she's alone with her foe, she can deliver a strike straight to the heart that can finish off the toughest of villains. Katana's experiences Also made her a natural protector, so even as she's about to be KO, she can flip her starting card and rescue a couple of civilians anywhere. So that is pretty cool. That is Katana right there. Can't wait to play most of these characters. Let's go ahead and drive back over to the main page. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the refresh button here. And the main page, we just to make sure, I want to make sure something didn't stop while I was blabbering for 40 minutes. So we're currently at 1053 960 right there. The goal for Katana, I gotta scroll because I got this thing half sized. The goal for Katana is at 1060, so it's 7,000 away. Right there from the goal. It's been sitting around that for the last few hours. I'm filming right now at 8:36. I feel pretty confident this isn't going to hit by midnight. If it does hit by midnight, I'm not going to like wait to edit this and do an addendum. I will. I'm just going to do. I'm just going to put it on the next video on Friday. And go from there. There will be a video on Friday since there is going to be a live stream on Friday afternoon. I will do a video Friday evening recapping any stretch goals that come out possibly later tonight and Thursday and all through Friday. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers so far fully. Right over here, we've got the list of all of our characters. Now, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 villains that have been revealed through stretch goals. I want to take a second to go over here to Marvel United. I don't know why I'm on Multiverse, but Marvel United Season 1, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, according to this, we only had 8 villains that were unlocked during stretch goals. Now, if you're looking at your stretch goal box and you're like, I've got 11 villains in here, Eric, why are you crazy? It's because that count does also. Dog. That count does also count Corvus Glaive, who was basically just like a day one giveaway. He wasn't like tied to a stretch goal necessarily. He's in that box. And then later on, after the campaign was done, because it was 2020 and we were all in our houses and everything, they were supposed to do convention exclusives, I assume. And then a retailer released the game early, their version of the game early, and to make it up to people, they gave us the villain version of Venom, because in that game he was a hero, but they gave us the villain version of Venom and then Kang the Conqueror as were Saris. A lot of people I think it was convention exclusive stuff that they decided to put in there because no one was going to conventions that year. I don't know the whole story on there, but that's why you have 11 stretch goal villains in the stretch goal box. But technically for DC Season 1 so far, we've got more announced stretch goal villains for this game, this Season 1 game, than we do for the Season 1 of Marvel United. So that's pretty cool if you do think about it. But right now, like I said, let's take a look at where we are with these games. So at day 8, we haven't unlocked Katana yet. So we've unlocked 21 characters, not counting these. We've unlocked 21 characters with Condiment King at this point, halfway through day 8, is because he did get unlocked on day 8. I apparently did not update this at all. I apologize. So there is that for Marvel United Season 1. By the time we're at the point we're at right now, which is 1050, we are 1050. We're going to go with the fact that we're here. That's the last stretch goal that was unlocked. So that was on day 9. So we're technically still a day ahead ish, but that's when we unlocked Drax. We also had 2 full expansions at this point, not counting Infinity War or Infinity Gauntlet that we had. But yeah, Drax he was the 20th figure. Over here, we're at 21 unlocked figures. So we're technically ahead as far as number count and as far as money raised. So between money raised and figures released, we're 1 ahead on that. We are a day or so ahead on funding. So that's pretty cool. X-Men, we are still not even close to X-Men. As I said before, the reason for that, we're somewhere up here. Reason for that is because, again, Marvel United Season 1 was completely offered during X-Men, Marvel United X-Men, with the exception of the Season 1 core box. So comparing it to X-Men doesn't do anyone any good whatsoever. As far as multiverse is concerned, when the same amount of money was raised, was over here. Almost the same amount of figures, at least announced. And I did change all these numbers over here to correspond when everything was actually unlocked. So there is that. Iron Patriot was unlocked on day 5 at 10:40. We're on day 8. We're on day 8, day 7. Yeah, day 8. We're technically on day 8 right now. So day 8. So we're 3 days behind on that one, because on day 8-ish they should have had our Marvel United Multiverse was at 1340K. But they also did have War Kings was announced, Age of Apocalypse was announced, and they were re-releasing that morning the Fantastic Four boxes. So that's where we're at right there with those games. The other thing I did want to show real quick, even though it's not necessarily relevant, it might be relevant, I don't know, is over here. This is where we were funding wise on Deceased. So Deceased was, of course, had more, a few more figures released. They also did have Unkillables, Gotham Knights, Green Lantern Corps, and Shadow Pact were all announced by that point. Yeah, so that was a lot of different things announced at that point in the game. But that was also on their day 9. So again, it's figure wise, where it's a little weird. I didn't even actually look. Let's go back to this. Figure wise, yeah, they started at a higher number, so it's weird how all that math is going to work, because I think there was a bigger stall over here in Deceased somewhere in these days. Whereas there's not that big of a stall necessarily in stuff here, whatnot. But yeah, it's just weird how all that funding goes, and like where things start, where things end on certain days. So as far as funding amount goes, we're like a day behind, or we're a day ahead on Deceased, but on as far as figures unlocked, we're a day ahead. So there's that right there. That's, that it is what it is with that. So that's where, as far as all the uh superhero related games that CMON has put out in recent years, that's where this game stacks up with all of those. Unlocked characters, we're sitting here. I do have Katana on there, but total characters revealed so far, we've got 42 heroes. We've got 20 villains so far. We still only have the one dual mode character with Black Adam. We do have the Green Lantern Corps team deck, bringing the amount of cards. Team decks so far announced to 3. Total amount of card packs we're getting 5, and then we still only have the 2 support characters right there. So that is everything right there. And then the last thing is my pure speculation list. You can kind of glance at this if you want to. I have gone back now and did a line through everybody that we have. There's no, yeah, through everything that we have announced, everything that has been revealed, whatnot, so you can kind of see how that is looking. I didn't write down anywhere on here characters that I didn't predict that made it into the game, like Wildcat, and there was somebody else in there that I can't remember off the top of my head. The Wonder Twins, that kind of stuff. I haven't put them on this list anywhere, but this is where my list of predictions kind of goes. You can kind of see the Green Lantern core box I was thinking about, and you can see there's still 3 big names right there that we have not seen yet. So we'll hopefully see them soon. 6,000 away from the next stretch goal. Yeah, so that is where we're going to be at, and that's where we're going to be stopping this video. Again, whatever goal is released after this, if they somehow hit it while I'm editing this video, I'll put a little blurb in the middle of like a little text box or something like that inside the video. If not, then I'll just wait until the next video. But with all that said, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into this recap video. It is slightly shorter than other ones, but I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out, and hit that subscribe button to be subscribed to the channel, because we're trying to grow the channel, and that's the best way to do it, is hit that button. And also make sure you like this video if you have been enjoying this series, and then stay tuned for some other things we've got going on post DC Superheroes United, things we're going to be working on that'll probably launch after this campaign is over. So with all that said, I've been Eric. This has been Rockshire Gaming. We've been reviewing DC Superheroes United, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.